How is it going? Back in my shop. Back in my shop this week. Nobody talking yet. There's a couple people here apparently, but as the title says, who knows how this show goes? Oh. We never know from week to week how this show is gonna go. We never know how the show is gonna go. And there's something there. We never know how the show will go. It's a jingle. It's like an ad jingle type lyric. Never know how the show will go. Oh, maybe everybody's sick of this. I'd be sick of this. No, I would. I'd say that a lot. I would watch this. Who is here? I know that there are people here. YouTube tells me there are people here. Speak up. Let me know you're here. I'll sit here and I'll talk to myself. That'd be fine. What do they say? You should always talk to the most intelligent person in the room. Hey, Lajeunesse is here. Mallin's here. Tim Mallon Woodworking. He got his Instagram back. That's a cool guitar, my friend. Do you play? Yeah, Tim put up an old Schecter from the 70s this week. This week, I think. Yeah. Telecastery thing. I'm sure Paul would appreciate it. Actually, well, you got your Instagram back / is back on Instagram. Oh, you know what I should do? You're an old hand tool refurbisher fella. My buddy Brad found an old coffin plane type plane in his collection. He just, people give him things. And he was like, it's unfortunate that it's all cracked and stuff, but like, I don't know who is it, like what it's for, or it was an old wooden bodied thing. And he was like, anybody know what this is or how old it might be or anything? Jesus is plane. Tyler says Jesus is plane. Yeah, super, like, but who knows, right? Like maybe it could have been made in the 60s and just like left out in a yard. I should tag, or I mean, he could go find it. Rough Seas Woodworking, Rough Seas Woodworks. My buddy Brad posted about a week ago. And he was like, does anybody have any information? I was like, I don't know. It looks old as, but I had little bulges out of the side of it. Yeah, on Instagram, Rough Seas Woodworks, I think. And I guess he got it all apart and was looking at it and things were cracked and whatever. And he's like, oh, that's unfortunate. But he's got a few of them. And he's probably encourage him to post those things because that's cool information for people, especially like knowledgeable folks that can like help him out and help everybody else out, including folks like me. I don't know anything about like old wooden bodied planes. German or other European. Unfortunately, it's toast. Yeah, I think he did a follow-up post that was like, yeah, this is probably garbage, but um, like I said, he just gets boxes of tools and things he stumbles upon, and people just give him, and like he pays it forward for sure. Like he's given me loads and loads of free wood and stuff. I currently have his. This is his shoulder plane that he like. Hey, dude, can I hit you up for a thing? Absolutely, you can. It's like got his. I got his Veritas shoulder plane. I got Tyler Peterson's Veritas mini router plane. Ancient Middle East, right? I have a couple of similar planes with the horn. They're commonly known as continental planes. Oh, okay. Oh, isn't that that's like got the front horn where your crook fits into the. I think I don't know. Like I said, I don't know enough about. I see people talking about things, and I assume they know what they're talking about. Don't continental planes usually have like a sole that's made out of a different wood that's like dovetailed into the body of the plane, and there's like a little hook shaped front knob and a tote on the back. I mean, obviously not necessarily with the dovetailed sole, that's a different wood, but EC Emmerich is a good known maker. They sometimes use multiple pieces for the sole. Okay. Yeah, I think okay. Weird reference, but the Fine Woodworking podcast, Shop Talk Live, I think it's called. A few years ago, there was a guy named Barry Dima, who worked for Fine Woodworking, and on the video version, okay, so on the video version of that podcast, he had one of those continental style planes with the horn thing on the front, and he was talking about how he uses it and things like that. He was an editor at Fine Woodworking at the time. He's not anymore, but yeah. So there's our talk about my buddy Brad's broken ass olden wooden hand blade. It's an old wooden ship. No. Yeah, there we go. We should get back to talking about woodworking on this show. Sometimes we don't. That'd be cool. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to get reset in the lathe corner with a functioning lathe that we can get back to turning on the show. That'll be cool. I unfortunately I've given up. I've long since given up on the concept of getting the granite lathe up and running. I mean, it runs. You can use it, but it's good. I'm gonna put it up for sale to replace it with Nova Comet. Hopefully ASAP. So I'll get rid of the Steel City Granite thing, replace it with the Nova Comet. I might take the Comet down to the shop and bring my Laguna back. Don't know yet, but get back to having a functioning, permanently set up lathe that is in good repair so that we can get back to turning more frequently on the show. That'll be nice. I may take a couple of weeks off from the show. I haven't decided yet. I have not taken a break from the show yet this year. In fact, I don't know how many weeks into the year we are, but I think I'm probably 4 or 5 more episodes than we have weeks in the year so far. So I think it might be time to take, I don't know, I would miss you guys though. I would miss you. I always say like I'm going to take some time off from the show, and then it doesn't happen. But I don't know. We'll see. In 3 weeks from today is my birthday, and I always do a show on my birthday, whether it's on the scheduled day for my show or not. I always do it's my birthday, let's do a show. So August 17, I will absolutely do a show, but I don't know if this is the last show until then or not. I feel like it might be. I feel like it might be time to just sort of back away for a couple weeks, maybe take care of some adulting, and not like the few hours on Saturday night that like wrecks my whole week or anything like that. But I don't know. If we're 30 weeks into the year, I've probably done 34 shows this year. Feel like it might be time to take a week or two off. Hey, Mikey B's here. What's happened tonight? As the title says, who can tell? Who knows what's going to happen? What's going on in your shop, my friend? You playing with your little toy trucks? Tyler Peterson, what are you up to in your shop these days, my friend? We talk once in a while, but are you making stuff? I have back out, quote unquote, on the bench. I have 2 electric guitars and a shop stool. 2 on their way to being electric guitars, and the shop stool is back out in position to get worked on. The cabinet is in the house for now because I needed to just kind of move it off to the side. Currently working on a real difficult project. 100-plus-year-old bowlback mandolin. Damn. I bought for $20. It was a wall hanger, and you're making it a player? Ooh, that sounds... I almost said awesome, but that sounds in some ways awesome. Haven't been there much. I had COVID last week. Had a guy. Parents were visiting the week before. I have an ice cream scoop kit I've been meaning to turn. I'm pretty sure I have a couple of ice cream scoops. Some ice cream scoops. I have some pizza cutters. That'll be lead up to Christmas. Hopefully I'll start getting into some of that. Along with the boxes that I started milling the wood up for a couple weeks ago with you guys here on the show. I'll be posting the pictures on Instagram as soon as I finish. You should be posting the picture. You should be posting the picture right now of what it is right now. because I want to see the before. I mean, not right now because you're watching this, but that's a cool project. How major is the reconstruction? No tiny truck projects right now, Mikey B says. Haven't been going out much. Saving funds for Tacoma fixing. Oh, the actual truck. Delivery slip board. Delivery slip board. Oh, delivery slip board. A board for delivery slips. Yeah, cool. Broken headstock screwed together with wood screws. Loose neck joint, cracked top, and paint splatters on it. Broken headstock screwed together with wood screws sounds like the most major of those problems. Yeah, okay. I have confidence in you. I have a thing with a broken headstock. Actually, I have a couple things with broken headstocks, but I have one that I'm going to fix. One that I'm just going to harvest parts from. But I bought it specifically to harvest parts from it. I didn't break the guitar, but oh, I am not a luthier, capital not. So it won't be luthier level quality at the end. I think you're conflating the word luthier with quality. There's shitty luthiers. So, like, luthier level quality, I don't think that's a good term. You do what you can do to it and make it as best you can make it. And it'll be better than some luthiers would have done. Luthiers. I mean, we talked about this before, right? About like what quality, how are you, what would make you a luthier in terms of qualifications? I've built a guitar. Technically, am I a luthier because I have built a guitar? Maybe. So luthier level work. I do luthier level work every day because I'm a luthier. Like it, yeah. My buddy Tyler Peterson does luthier level work when he crushes out cedar jack-o'-lanterns every Halloween. But technically, I would say that he qualifies as a luthier. His cedar jack-o'-lanterns are luthier level work. Right? And don't be too hard on yourself. You got it for $20. Have fun. Learn something. You have a good point. I am extremely intelligent. Paul Waldrop's here, speaking about luthier level things. There's another luthier. He only makes Telecasters. Kidding. Speaking of your old Schecter Telecaster thing, And I think I even mentioned Paul. Paul would have appreciated that probably. Paul, did you see Tim Mellon's? It's a Telecaster, right? I mean, is the term Telecaster owned by Fender? I ain't lost anything lately. Why are you calling me a luthier? I have not seen it. He on Instagram. He's got an old like 70s Schecter Telecaster thing. It's like a metal pick guard. Like, is it stainless steel? That pick guard? Like, it's cool. Tim, I don't think you ever told me whether or not you play. I did ask. Like every time I pull out a guitar, you go. They own the headstock and the name, but not the shape of the body. Telecaster is trademark. Most makers call it T style. Yeah, I've seen, and I thought that's probably why, because I see a lot of T style thrown around. And Nice era Schecter PT. Yes, I do play. So apologies to you for when I bring the guitar out. No, no, no apologies. Everybody's at their own level and place. And if they enjoy it, that's good enough for me. Pickguard is brass, so is the bridge and saddles. The other hardware is gold hardware. Yeah, cool. Lots of times the headstock shape is the only trademarked part. That's interesting. Because you can't trademark a body shape. Or why is that? I enjoy when you play. I just know that when the guitar comes out, we've disappointed Mike because the conversation is at a lull. Somewhat accurate. Not, I won't say disappointed Mike. That is, sometimes the guitar comes out because we don't have anything else to talk about. But don't be disappointed. I'm not disappointed in you that we don't have anything to talk about. Sometimes I just want to play. You can, but they didn't. You can what? Oh, trademark the body shape? Gibson trademarked the headstock and body shapes. Oh, really? What body shapes did Gibson trademark? Did they trademark the Les Paul? I can't see that being a thing because lots of guitar bodies are that shape. Or do you have to trademark it right down to the dimensions? Because like this, gimme. That's, as soon as I do this, it's not a Les Paul anymore, right? Because they haven't trademarked. Theirs goes, it's round. Right? But, and there's a little more slope here. You have more of a round, and this is a little shaved off. And that's not a Gibson headstock. So, like, I don't know how you would trademark a body shape. It would have to be the body shape right down to like at this point it's 9 inches across, and at this point it's 13.75 inches across, wouldn't they? They couldn't just trademark like the silhouette. Gibson are a bit more lawyer happy. The villain of the guitar world, Gibson. Yeah, I guess that's probably true. Fender's body shapes had expired, and when they went to court, they only did the headstock. Okay. Okay. Before pictures of the mandolin are on Instagram. That's why they sued Dean guitars. I think I have a Dean electric Les Paul. Had a fun day ripping around on forklifts today. It was great to get out of the office for a day. That guy. Ernie Ball has a trademark on the 4x2 headstock configuration. Hold on. So any 4 and then 2 tuners? That can't be legal. Anytime you make a headstock where there's 4 and then 2, that's trademark infringement. That cannot, there's no way. I mean, maybe with the I guess. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. Tim says yes. I think if he's talking about the same thing, that's what Tyler says. That's what he was told. I mean, I guess whatever will hold up in court, seems like that shouldn't be allowed. Because, like, why wouldn't you be able to trademark 3 and 3 then? Or 6 aside? Like, Rickenbacker has a trademark on their over-under 12 string headstock. I understand copyright and trademarks and things to a point. I don't think you should be able to trademark 4 of the strings are tightened on this side and 2 of them are tightened on this side. And also, like, if I'm not trying to sell, I don't want to get into it, but if I'm not trying to, like, make a Gibson guitar and then, like, hawk it as a Gibson guitar that isn't a Gibson guitar, I don't really see what it matters. Like, if it's Gibson-esque, but it's clearly not a Gibson guitar, like, what are they? Why would they care? Did a good typo on one of the plaques today. That a guy. Should I trademark the little on the, like, this is, because all of my guitars are going to be like, beep, beep, beep. So I trademark this little beep right here. If you do a beep right there, you owe me money. Lines up really nice. That lines up really nice. I'm quite happy with that. I still need some carving and shaping in through here, but wrote one too many P's in the word triple. Boss laughed at me. We laughed. I fixed it. Okay. I was selling pens on eBay with all profits going to charity. The USMC, United States Marine Corps. Even though I was in the USMC, and entitled to wear the emblem I couldn't display it on things. Oh, okay. I sure. For charity purposes, probably for charity purposes that benefited like veterans from the Marine Corps. Probably. I'm just guessing. Um, cool. That'd be like if the Canadian Cancer Society didn't allow people to use their logo on stuff to do fundraisers for them. Because it's trademark. Like, it seems like, I don't know. Hence what I said, the villain of the guitar world. I thought the villain of the guitar world, for some reason, I thought it was PRS. I thought, like, most guitar people, like, I thought PRS was more frowned upon as a company than Gibson. I don't know. I feel like the level of respect people have for Gibson is higher than they do for PRS. Is that, am I off base with that? Maybe litigiously. I don't know. I was told I had to purchase the rights, which would have cost more than the pens would have sold for. Yeah. Um, well, so there's that. PRS just always seems so bougie. Yeah. And I think a lot of people feel like, I mean, who can say? If people will pay it, then business model. But I think a lot of people feel like they charge more than they should for the quality of their instruments. But no, they have done some innovative things with guitar making. The like the recessed potentiometer in the top of a guitar. I think that's PRS invention. That's cool. So it took the USMC pens to local Marine recruiting offices for the recruiters to hand out to new Marines. Yeah, okay. Gibson not fixing the problems with their guitars really bugs me. Again, business model, like why it's not an if it's not broke, don't fix it, because it's broke, and literally so. But if people will keep buying them in the flawed design, and it's not causing physical harm to people, like, okay, if your car has a manufacturer defect and could cause physical injury, yeah, that's different. But like Gibson SGs are notorious for having like head brakes, like they just snap. But people will keep buying them, so why would we change it? I guess I don't know. Yeah, I get it. They're exploding headstock. Turn your stock 90 degrees. Yeah. The grain direction is a thing. Grain direction is a thing. I talk about grain direction in the class that I'm doing tomorrow. I do people you even some of you assholes made fun of me for wanting to do a Dremel carving class or rotary tool spinny bit hand carving class where I talk about grain direction and the interaction of things with wood. I do another one tomorrow, and I have 3 students taking it, and a big part of the class is talking about the way that tools interact and the way that wood is strong in different directions and not strong in other directions and things. It's a big part of the class. Everyone wants that 59 spec Les Paul. Not everyone. The only reason they have the angle to it is to not have to use string trees, to my knowledge. Plus the small amount of wood that they glue between the neck and the headstock is too small. I don't know enough about the physics of luthiery to know, but I like the aesthetics of a headstock angle. I mean, all my guitars, like I've made a ton of them. I got a angle right here. I got a little bit of extra support with a volute back here to give a little more meat there. But I think I don't really, string trees are really not my thing. I'll whatever. Yeah, no expert. They don't need to make 17 or 19 degree scarf joints. Nobody needs to make a scarf joint. Use a thicker piece of wood. Fender style necks are 90%. The break angle isn't very good, so they use string trees to help with string tension. I believe you. I was telling Paul a couple weeks ago, I think I might make my first Telecaster, but I'm not going to make it from scratch. I'm going to take one of my crappy old like Squire or type guitars, Stratocaster style guitars that I have in the back, and just like take the neck off of it that's still good and make a Telecaster body out of some fancy stuff and slap the neck in it. If they spin the wood 90 degrees, they wouldn't need a scarf joint at all. And if they used 3-ply with more than one grain direction, it would also solve the issue. Yeah, lots of ways to solve the issue about wood strength in different directions. They make the scarf joint to join their headstock to the neck and maintain grain direction. I see that. I don't understand, because the grain direction on those guitars that I have right beside me is maintained out of a single piece of wood. But you have to use a thicker piece of wood to get so yeah, I mean in terms of material cost, but I don't see the material cost being that much more than the machining / labor cost to cut and scarf back on. It probably is. You're right. It probably is. Gibson knows exactly what they're doing. Well, yeah, they make a crap ton of guitars and a crap ton of money, so sure. You're not doing that great of an angle. Well, that was mean. I think it's a great angle. I think it's a great angle. Here. Maybe it doesn't think you're a great luthier, Paul. That was a mean thing to say. It is a great angle. Hmm. Paul, my good friend Paul Waldrop, uh, who is currently putting together a box of goodies for me. Do you happen to have an extra? So what do we have so far? You got a router plane going in there, possibly an old uh, pipe, a hot pipe, side bender thing, um, probably some random fun blanks of some kind. Um, do you have an extra radius block, radius sanding block? I cannot bring myself to pay the money that people want for a slightly dished out piece of wood to sand a radius into a fretboard. I just cannot. 35, $40. I was actually talking to my friend Tyler Peterson. I was like, dude, you should make these motherfuckers. Like, oh, you got a CNC machine. You should just like have it do this over pieces of wood at different radii and sell those things because that's ridiculous. Like I was gonna make one just by like drawing a radius on like a piece of MDF and then tracing it onto a bunch of pieces of maple and then cutting them out and gluing them together and just sanding it flush and like make my own. I'll put a couple hours into making one before I'll pay somebody 30 or $40. You'd be the only one who would buy it. I don't know, man. I think if you had an efficient system on your CNC to make them and you could undercut all of these other goofballs that are selling them for 30, $40, 35, $40 a piece. Couldn't compete with other manufacturers. I think the only reason that they can charge so much is because everybody is thinking that. Well, I can't compete with that. It's a block of scrap wood that you star bond and masking tape down to your bed and have your router do this on your computer. Don't even use radius blocks anymore. I have a set of router bits that I use for different radiuses. Quit using blocks after I. Yeah, well, sure, but you're making hundreds of guitars. I'm making 2 or 3 a year. It's the shipping that'll deter people. I guess, maybe, but like, but people are selling them for 30 or $40 plus shipping. And they're selling them obviously because they're making them. What's a Crimson Guitar radius block cost? Somebody look it up for me. A Crimson Guitars radius sanding block. People buy them plus shipping from the UK. What's StuMax sell them for? Go see Caleb. I looked on his website. Still, it's 40. Okay, sure, I'm not paying shipping. It's still $40. Crimson is $28 US plus shipping. So 33 plus shipping from UK. So yeah, now we're up at like $60. But You know what I mean. Like I think there's room in the market. Let me see what I have, and I may toss them in the box. Yeah. StuMax starts at 12. I didn't expect that to be the number. Is that a typo? Was that supposed to be 22? Depending on length. I guess the longer it is, the more consistent that radius is going to be along the length of the fretboard. Again, plus shipping. Yeah. Okay, so maybe you can't compete with $12, Tyler. But I just feel like there's it has to be people have to be able to make it for cheaper than that. Now everybody has access to computerized router tracks. There's no need for a scrap of maple carved into a little dish in a trough to be 30 or $40. Temu sells them for $11 each. Of course they do. Again, I would rather spend a couple hours to make one myself than give $11 to Temu. If only Viver made radius blocks. That's a company I can get behind. That's S. I should message my friend Chris Pinnell to see if we're still actually friends. Feels like maybe we're fighting. I haven't seen him for a while. I don't know why we would be fighting, but haven't seen him for a while. And it feels like maybe I should touch base on that. Temu equals Viver. Yeah. Might as well, right? Oh. I have myself one of my dirty smokerettes, I think. And we'll keep hanging out. I have a full charge and my charger right here beside me. So we can go for as long as we want tonight. Like I said, this may be the last live show until August 17th. I'm not sure. I did just cheap out and buy a set of fret polishing erasers from Temu to compare them to the crimson ones I have. They're just as good. Yes, I mean, in some cases that may be true. And these are decisions that everyone has to make for themselves. I.e., he gets them from China also. Yeah, probably true. And that's, I mean, we've had this talk before about global economy and middlemen and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If it all tracks back to the same place, then what does it matter? I know. Moral quandaries, et cetera, et cetera. Old man yells at manufacturers for charging too much for carved piece of wood. That should be the title of the show. Why can you not make a cheaper carved piece of wood? Damn it. Manufacturers. We all have access to computerized routers. Make me one cheaper. Tyler, just make me one. I'll give you a piece. I'll give you a piece of purple heart. You make me a purple heart radius block. An 11-inch. Give me an 11-inch. I don't care if I'm your only customer. There we go. Artisan boutique. Your choice of wood. You could set yourself apart. You sell them for more money, but you get to pick mahogany or I don't have an 11-inch radius block. I just picked a number. I don't know. You want me to see what I want? 9.2, 7, 12, and maybe a 15. 12's good. I don't like. Yeah, 12 would be good. I think Dawn. I think I went from. It's a compound radius on Dawn. I went from about a 9. I think I went 9 to 12 ish, maybe a little under 9 down at the nut. But 11, 12. I'm not picky. 12 would be good. A nice consistent 12. The problem that I'm having, and I think this was pointed out when we were doing this live on the show, the problem that I'm having is the consistency between, in terms of the radius along its length. I was just doing it with a hand plane by eye. And so I would like to get a little more consistent. And I'd rather have a consistent 12 than an inconsistent 12 to 9. If you know what I mean. I have to laugh because it's good for you. I'm putting on my third coat of shellac on the mandolin. I chose shellac because it's historical. You know, these tiny little green aphids keep sticking to it. Yep. You got to do it in some kind of under a box or something so you don't. Or you just pick them out and get some alcohol and just blend it all back. French polish. You get the nice thick layer on there, dig all the aphids out, and then you French polish it. A little bit of pumice after the fact. Or, better yet, some custom grit. You get a nice thick layer of shellac on there. You dig all of the aphids out. Quick buff with a really light alcohol to smooth it all out. And then you custom grit that whole thing to smooth it out. So aphids are traditional too. See? Mikey B's got a good point. Hanging in my shop doing the French polish with the rag ball and the alcohol. The rag ball and alcohol. Ragball and alcohol. No, that's a bad lyric. Ragball and alcohol should make woodworking music. Ragball and alcohol sounds like a lyric. Hold on. Ragball and alcohol. This is and that's all metaphor as well. The poor unfortunate tortoise whose shell became the pickguard. And those poor abalones, clams, mollusks. Where the abalone comes from some sort of crustacean. It might not be a crustacean, actually. Like a seashell. It murders so many. I want to say it's a type of clam. Could be wrong. Steel wool and methylated spirits. I believe you. I like custom grit and a buffing. Scotch-Brite pads, mostly white ones. I exclusively use whites. Whenever I'm using Scotch-Brite, I use the white ones. It's fine. I don't need to go up to different grits of Scotch-Brite. So I'm just saying alcohol for poor Mike who can't get methylated spirits in Canada. I can't get denatured alcohol in Canada is what I can't get. I need to get methyl chloride. I always forget. It is methyl something. Abalones were born to be fret dot markers, just like cows were meant to be steak and or milk. Denatured alcohol is methylated spirits. It's denatured alcohol I can't get here. But it's methyl hydrate or something that it's sold as in Canada. And cheese. Well, cheese is yes, milk can become cheese. Come on, Tim. Steak and milk. Milk can become cheese. Steak can become fajitas or whatever. I'm going to have a smokerette and get a new beer. And then I think after this one, maybe we'll do the Mike's Never Tried This Beer Before. I'm very strongly considering downloading all of the lives that I've done where I did the Mike's Never Had This Beer Before, like beer review, and clipping those parts out and making them their own standalone series of videos where it's just like me trying a beer and giving my first impression and review of it, because I think people would watch the shit out of that. Those are fun. So bright and shiny day. It's not super hot, but it's bright. Be right back. Gotta go pee in my bathroom like a normal person. Ooh, look at me being all Mr. Hoity-toity. I'm gonna go pee in my bathroom. See, he thinks he's better than us people who ever urinate somewhere other than a bathroom. Paul's been on the planet for 114 years, and he's never once urinated somewhere that wasn't a bathroom facility because he's that much better than us. He's cultured. Oh, I'm glad. You guys get me. I appreciate you. At least it feels like you do. Maybe you're just here to watch the train wreck, and it feels like we care about each other and we appreciate each other, and that's all that matters. Eric, what's going on down in Australia today, my friend? You're on lunch break? On some chicken parm? Like a normal person. I like that. That's who wants to be normal anyway? Normal's boring and shitty. Having a hot dog or two? You guys don't call them that though, do you? Ooh. Paul, did you hear that? A couple of bikes went by. What do you guys call hot dogs? You don't call them hot dogs, do you? No plants were watered during the process. Yeah, we made fun of you. For what did I say? He's been on the planet for 118 years and he's never peed outside of an actual washroom facility because he's way better than us. Something along those lines. It was funny. I mean, to be fair, like 68 of those years, he was on a submarine. So he couldn't just like walk outside and go piss. Just like open the door and grew up in country. I may have passed bodily waste in many outside areas and put it in bags, setting to fire on porches. I want to make sure. It took me over an hour to remember to go to live chat tonight. Grab a snag and an Iron Jack mate. Whatever Graham and Shawno would say. Graham and Shawno from Mike's probably car show. Watches Australian car guys, I think. An Iron Jack? call them snags in Australia. According to Google, they call them snags. Sausage sizzles. Okay. I like calling them glizzies because I think it's fun to make fun of young people. Uh, my boy heard me call it a glizzy one time when I was making fun of young people, and he was like, "Don't say that." Tyler Peterson, glizzy. Yep. Go muck some glizzies. I started writing a song called "Muckin' Glizzies." That it's just gonna have like young people slang to hopefully show them how ridiculous it sounds. But when we were young people, we had ridiculous slang that made us sound stupid too. Sunrise, sunset. It's a continuous circle. We all think that the next generation has its stupidness. Bad Tyler. Yeah, we'll go to Costco and we'll just muck a couple glizzies. So there's an argument in the States over Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Is it pop or soda? It's whatever you want. Like I don't say I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think it's Canada. Like we don't say I want a pop or I want a soda. We say I want a Coke or I want a Pepsi or I want a 7 Up or I want a Sprite or I want a Dr. Pepper. You wouldn't say like go get me a pop or go get me a soda. Like when I ask Boy to go get me a beverage, it's like, hey, while you're at the fridge, can you grab me a Coke? Apparently, we've had this talk before too. Some places it's like, can you get me a Coke? And they're like, what kind of Coke? What do you mean? What kind of Coke? Like, do you want an orange Coke? That it doesn't make any sense at all. What kind of pop do you want? I guess. Oh yeah, I guess we would never call it a soda because in Canada, if you call something a soda, but as far as I know, maybe other regions that I've not lived in might call it soda. But if you say you want a soda, it means you literally want soda water, which is just carbonated water. Superman is here. I forget where Superman is from, or if I ever knew. I know the name. I remember going to Virginia once, and a waitress asked me, "Y'all want some pop?" And I had no idea what she meant. Y'all want some pop? You were like, "Is that a soda?" There were leftovers, and they said, "You want a sack?" And I said, "Sure, but I hardly know you." Yeah, fair enough. Maybe that's what she actually wanted. If you say soda in Canada, they think you're American. If you say soda in Canada, they're going to bring you carbonated water. Probably. No, a good server is going to say, okay, you're American. Small island north of me. Right? Superman is from up on an island north of my island. Used to work for Canadian Secret Service. That's it. It's all coming back to me. Thank you very much. That's all I needed to know. Like soda water, fizzy drink. carbonated water is soda. Like if you ask for a gin and tonic is tonic water, which is different than soda water. If you ask for a gin and soda, it's just gin and carbonated water, usually with a lime or lemon, depending on the bar. But yeah. Seltzer is just soda water and would be called soda here, I think is accurate. Like I spent a lot of time in food and bev, and if somebody asked for a soda, that they would get a carbonated water. I believe it's called seltzer. People moving furniture around upstairs. It's called seltzer if you're a clown and you're spraying people with it. No, what's that called? This. It's a different name for that operation. But where were we talking about? Like, people would say, like, what kind of Coke do you want? Is it with the Midwest US? Is it like, can I have a Coke? Or like, what kind of Coke do you want? Because that's just what they called all pop/soda. It's called a Coke, and you could have an orange Coke or a Sprite Coke or a Texas does that, Paul. Okay. The Three Stooges use it. Yeah, but it's not called seltzer water. It's got a name when it's a clown shooting thing. Georgia, where Coke is made. Well, most Coke is made in Colombia, I think, but not familiar with that phrase. Coke is Coke to me. Pepsi is Pepsi. RC is RC. Yes. See, here in Canada, at least all the places I've lived, if you want a Coke, they're going to say, hopefully, they're going to not just bring you a Pepsi and put it down. They're going to say, is Pepsi okay? And you're going to say no. And then you're going to tell them what you actually want, because you don't want Pepsi because it's gross. So you're going to say, can I have a Coke? And they're going to say, is Pepsi okay? And you're going to say, no, I'll have an iced tea. But another good lesson, if you're in the States and you say you want an iced tea, they're going to bring you cold tea, which is not what you want. If you want iced tea in the States, I think you have to ask for sweet tea. I love Pepsi. It goes great with my Jack. Everybody can like what they like. People who prefer Pepsi are wrong. But you're allowed to like it. It just makes you not as good a person. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. iced tea is supposed to be cold. Yeah, I know, but it's not supposed to be just cold tea. No, you just ask for tea, and they ask you whether you want it sweet or unsweet. Okay, well, the only reference I have for this is when I was, I don't know, maybe 13, 14, and we're on probably a hockey trip down through Montana. And I wanted iced tea with my lunch, and they brought me basically fucking cold Earl Grey tea. And I was like, this is disgusting. Why did you bring me this? Because I was expecting it to taste like what we call iced tea here in Canada. Oh, you want tea? Here's water, ice, and a tea bag. Yeah, right? See? It's like, I don't just want cold tea. I want iced tea. Iced tea and cold tea are two different things. If I wanted cold tea, I would have said, hey, can you bring me some cold tea? It's not the same as iced tea. Iced tea is, let's face it, it's mostly sugar. It's like if I want lemon water, it's different than if I want lemonade. If I say I want lemonade, I want it to be sweet. If I say I want lemon water, I just want some lemon in water. I didn't say I want cold tea. I said I want iced tea. Monsanto can trademark DNA sequences. Anything can be trademarked. Bill Krulik is well behind in the chat. Somebody want to mention to him that he should scroll forward? He's back where we were talking about trademarks with guitars. Pretty sure. Never wanted iced tea, just tea. It's not good. Yeah, and that's fine. If you want cold tea, that's fine. If you want iced tea and what you get is cold tea, it's not fine. Getting married for the first time, girlfriend is expecting I'll be a dad in my late 50s. Congratulations, question mark. I am happy for you if you're happy. That's the best I can do there, because if you're happy, I'm happy, my friend. If you're getting married, I assume that you're happy about that. If you're happy to be a dad in your late 50s, I'm happy for you. That would not make me happy. But we're all on our own journey. And I'm happy for people that are happy. Monsanto, so many things about them I can't stand. Yeah, there's a lot of things to not like. Probably not a good idea to say for the first time. I am, since I don't have access to the resources that I used to. I've already teased her about that. Are you going to be a dad for the first time in your late 50s with like a 24-year-old hottie? I'm just kidding. No, congratulations. Like I said, if you're happy, I'm happy for you. Cheers to Superman for getting married and becoming a dad. Beer. Oh, okay. I said the next one I said that the next one was going to be the Mike's never had this beer before. So here we go. I have, in case you weren't here, I have decided that I'm going to start clipping these out and making them into their own standalone beer review videos. So we'll see what we can do about making that a thing. With all of those old ones. I don't know. Maybe not. So, Mike's never had this beer before. Hey, everybody. Today, I don't know. I may or may not have had anything by the Driftwood Brewing Company before out of Victoria, British Columbia. I don't remember ever having anything by this particular brewery. This is our homage to the roots of the craft beer renaissance. It's the craft beer renaissance. That sounds like marketing. This eponymous pale ale sets the Northwest character of a centennial hops upon the stage of a clean Canadian malted barley. They created this with AI, I think. A timeless classic, you're welcome. I am not convinced that a human being wrote that. But the Driftwood Pale Ale from Driftwood Brewing, I do like the can aesthetic. It's fairly nice. It's not my favorite of the last few, but Driftwood Brewery, out of Victoria. We're gonna try the Driftwood Pale Ale and see what we think. This is a 5.0 alcohol by volume, and pale ales generally sort of slide into my taste palette significantly more than an IPA will, especially like modern lying IPAs. But some breweries make a pale ale that's basically just a lager, but because it's colored very lightly, they call it a pale ale because it's pale in color. I don't know. We'll see how Driftwood does their pale ale. Oh, it smells a little hoppy. Yep. It's it definitely leans towards the faux IPA side of things. Very heavy on the hops. And not much else going on. Again, with all the IPAs that I end up trying, it's just like, let's see how hoppy we can get this. And it's not, maybe a lot of people like super hoppy beer. My buddy Mark likes super hoppy beer. I don't. It smooths out a little bit after a couple sips, hits less hard, but it's still like the overwhelming flavor is absolutely just hoppy bitter. And if that's for you, that's great. Everybody can like what they like. I'm not gonna drink it. I will finish the can, unlike some of the beer that I've tried in the Mike's Never Had This Beer Before segment. But this one, I would say, for me, It's like a 4. It's definitely not a would buy again. But it's not the worst of the hoppy. Hold on. So let me let it linger for a minute because it feels like it might build in the back of your throat if you stop. You know how some beer, like if you keep it going in, it's okay, but then if you stop for a couple of minutes, it starts to do a little bit of a. This is a little bit of one of those, like it sort of has an afterthought. Not of unpleasantness, but not a good aftertone. But yeah, not a bad aftertone. Yeah, this is a solid 4 for me, as not a bitter hoppy beer person. Of the hoppy bitter beers, this one is okay. And I will be finishing the can of beer. So I guess we'll go with Driftwood. The Driftwood Pale Ale. Pretty okay if you like how much hops can we put in a beer. That's not my thing, so it's not for me, and I will not repeat the purchase, but I guess I can see why people like it. There we go. Driftwood Pale Ale from Victoria, British Columbia. About 2-ish hours down the road from me. The capital of our beautiful province. Right here on my island. Is it a boat? Is it the keel of a boat? Is it the keel? The front nose of a boat? Might be wrong. Looks like some grain that's wrapping around and creating the front of some sort of skiff. It's a nicely designed can. But the can isn't gonna be enough to make me buy it again. So thanks for the try, Driftwood. It's not terrible. Driftwood Pale Ale. Not terrible. But won't buy again. There we go. This isn't gonna go well. Get them with the cool can. Keep them with the cheap buzz. And it's only 5%. It's like maybe if it tasted like that and it was like a 7%, maybe I would go. But the keel is the spine. Is typically that runs from end to end and protrudes the most. Okay. So what's the? Because that looks like to me, that looks like sort of the front point of the boat. So what's that upward spine where both sides of the boat come in and connect? What's that called? So I'm giving up drinking beer for a month. Sorry, bad punctuation. I meant I'm giving up drinking beer for a month. Yeah. See, I'm trying not to give up. And in order to do that, I only drink once a week. I try to only drink once a week. Sometimes twice, but rudder steers. Stern is the butt of the boat. It's called the hull. No, the hull of the boat is the shell. The hull is not the front peak of the boat. If we're drawing out so, where's Pinnell to fact check this shit? Oh, right, we're not friends anymore. I don't know why. So, we got a boat, right? So here's our makeshift boat, right? Whatever, I guess this would be the hull of the boat. Whatever this support piece is right here that ties the two sides together at the front tip. What's that part called? So we got the two sides of the hull that come together on a seam. That's what this is, I think. So the two sides of the hull come together at a point. This point joins them. Oh. It's called the pointy end, right? What if the back was more pointy? The upper lip of the hull or body is the gunnel. Yeah, that's not what we're talking about. That's the gunnel goes around this. This is the gunnel of a boat is like the binding on a guitar. It's like the additional support that's created at those junctures. The keel is basically a flat blade sticking down into the water from the sailboat's bottom. Has two functions. Prevents the boat from being blown sideways by the wind. That's only one function. The back of the bow is called the ass end of the pointy end. Yeah, I would also call it the butt. It holds the ballast that keeps the boat right side up. So there's literally no term for the piece of support that the sides are joined into that makes the nose of a boat. There has to be. There has to be a term for that. So the keel is like, oh, one of these? Is that a keel? Boats don't actually float. Yeah, they're designed so the bottom of the boat never breaks the tension of the water, therefore keeping it on top of the water. Scientific semantic argument. This would be fun to actually engage in. Keel in shipbuilding, the main structural member and backbone of a ship or boat, running longitudinally along the center of the bottom of the hull from stem to stern. So this would be the keel, but only if it went all the way along. So in the example of the driftwood brewing, where the boat is more like kind of bathtubby, so this is the boat that we're talking about, right? And this piece right here has no name, is what you're telling me. This fucking show. I'm drawing sketches of boats now. If it sticks out from the front of the boat, it would be a bowsprit. Maybe it's got like a little angel on the top of it. It's got some wings. I could see this. I could see that being a bowsprit, like off the front of the boat. That would make sense. Bow like bending over, and sprit. Oh, okay. Sprit. Bowsprit. I just misread. I assumed that you typoed. I like this. I like the little angel being a bowsprit. Bow. Oh, bow. You're right. Bow. See, I assumed that bow in terms of the bow of a ship was with a GH. But English is right fucked in terms of like the pronunciations. Looking at that second picture, I would say bathtubs don't have keels. That was my point. God damn it, Kapla. Pay attention. We started with boat, but then what if the boat is... It's been a progressive conversation, okay? Flat bottom boats don't have keels. I guess it wouldn't, based on the definition of a spine that runs all the way along. So, okay, say we've got, let me just draw for a sec, and then we'll come in. So we got a flat back boat, right? And then that comes up to a point on the front. Lots of boats look like this. It's gonna come down a little bit more. This looks like, I would call this more like a lake fishing boat, I guess. This would be more along the lines of like a Lund. I think that's a brand of boat. They're like the boats that you see, the the redneck fishy guys that have their own fishing show and they're trying to catch bass. So we got ourselves a boat, right? And then back here we're gonna put like a shitty little motor on it. It's got a propeller. Okay, so got ourselves a little boat, right? So whatever holds these two sides, I guess this side also has. Okay, so we got ourselves a boat. These two sides still bend in and get attached at this front point and secured in some way. And I think that's what's going on here. This is the point that those two sides get joined into. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the term for that point. Doesn't matter. It totally doesn't matter. Now I'm dwelling on the idea. Whatever the sides come in and join into to secure them. What is this piece called? From the commercials I've seen, those are secured by Flex Seal. I'm pretty sure it's Type Bond 3. Or Total Boat Epoxy, I think, based on their advertising. Total Boat would make sense. They spend a lot of money. Where's my Total Boat sponsorship? Why didn't Total Boat send me any free epoxy? They send everybody free epoxy. That's the bow. That's the keel. So the centerpiece is the keel. Didn't I say that earlier? And you guys were like, no, the keel is the little fin. You fucking guys. You're just messing with me. I'm sure you are. Anyway, it's completely irrelevant. I was curious when I saw the front end of the boat. Like, what's that part called? Nobody knows. Total Boat doesn't have any Canadian distributors. Oh, that was a good decision on their part, because we don't use epoxies up here as adhesives or gap fillers. We don't have a huge woodworking community. So, good decision. Do a video or two using Total Boat during epoxy class. Well, I can't. I don't have any. I am going to go use the washroom facilities beside my house, because I'm not as refined culturally as my friend Paul Waldrop. So I don't actually mind going outside. So I'll be back in a sec. And I'll be right back, and we can fight over what the parts of a boat are called. It's not a fight. It's all in good fun. Mikey B, if you're still around, I would like to please. I'm not going to beg, but I am in need of some help with the situation in the yard. And I know that you enjoy it, and I do not, and that's why it has gotten out of hand. The thistle to get to my backyard and the field that might as well be canola at this point, but isn't. I need gas-powered weed whackers and strong-backed people with rakes. And I am neither of those things. Mike has a situation here. No, it's not. It's not a neighbor situation. I just don't take care. I don't do enough yard maintenance, and I ignore it long enough that it becomes. I don't know what to do. Like I can't even imagine starting whatever needs to happen. It's like sometimes when your shop gets so dirty that you walk out there to clean it and you just turn around and walk back in the house. We've all been there, right? And that's what my yard becomes. So like every year, every other year, it just gets to the point where I just can't. It's like the kids say, like I can't even. And I have I'm floundering. I'm just like I can't. I just don't. Eh. But it's like I need a scythe. Like I need like an actual like Grim Reaper scythe to like knock down the yard. My little DeWalt battery powered like edge trimmer thing is not getting through. You need a YouTube Mo guy. That's right, or like a TikTok guy that just like walks around and finds yards that are overgrown, and it's like, I'm gonna do it for TikTok views, and like take it back down and make it pretty for sponsorship from Steel or whoever. Like, I need one of those guys because I just do not give a shit. That's my problem is that I like having a nice yard, but I just don't give a shit enough to actually make it happen. And it becomes what it has become. And it gets that way, and then I just like I just throw my hands up and be like, I can't. And I don't have a strong enough back to like even if I had a gas powered something to knock it all down, I couldn't rake it up because I'd be in bed for a week after doing it. There's one noisy garage door. I don't know. Yeah, I can't with the yard. I just and you have to stay like once it gets down to like yard, it's easier to maintain, but I can't. Like I just it goes and it goes and it goes and it goes, and I'm like, no, I don't know. I can't. I just can't. I need help. This is me admitting to the world that I need I need help. Be glad you don't have 30 acres to mow. If I had 30 acres to mow, I'd have a ride on and I would go out there I almost said every day. No, but it would be a lot cooler. I could absolutely sit down and like, yeah, I'm driving around mowing the things. It's like my yard is too small to have fun doing it. Like if I had a ride on, like, yeah, here I go, I'm mowing the lawn and driving around on a thing, I that would be no problem. But it's not that. I almost want to show, like, I would like to show you guys the situation, but I can't get by the thistle to get to my backyard. Get a goat? Don't. It, that's not a joke. I thought about it. You made a mini me that equals free labor. Yeah. Again, if it was maintainable, I could get him out with the DeWalt cordless thing and do some little bits of work or mow. But when it's like, I kid you not, it's tit high in the backyard. And I am not too proud to say that I need help. And I don't think any of us should be ever too proud to say that they need help with whatever. Whenever, if you need help with something, ask for it. Don't don't be too proud to ask for help. And that's part of my problem is that I'm too proud to ask for help until it's too late to ask for help. It should have been done 6 months ago. 6 months ago, at the beginning of the growing, we should have knocked it all back and gotten it out of there so that I could have just been maintaining. But instead, no, I can't even see my fire pit in the backyard. Probably full of ticks back there. Maybe. See, that's very cordless. This calls for good old fashioned air polluting 2-stroke lawnmower power. You're not pushing a lawnmower over it. Like, honestly, I wish I could get you back there. I can't get past the thistle that's blocking the gate. So that would be the first thing that would have to come down. And in order to get back there, that would have to come out, and then we'd have to get back there, and I'd show you. Like, I'm not kidding when I say tit height. Like, I wouldn't be able to push it, and like a self-propelled, maybe industrial strength mower. I don't know. Those field and brush mowers they used to advertise. Yeah, yeah. You just refurbished an axe? No, I refurbished a hatchet, and I'm not going to go individually hack down handfuls of brush with a hatchet. No, no, I'm not. I thought about it for a second because it could be fun. I could get the thistle with it. I could probably, if I had a nice leather glove, I could probably get the thistle with the hatchet. Go get a decent string trimmer or even the 40-volt Ryobi with the plastic blades. I have a decent string trimmer. I'm not getting through an inch and a bit stalk of thistle with a string trimmer. Maybe with the plastic blades, you can sub those out on some things. I don't know about that one, but anyway, I have made my plea to my friend Mike, who enjoys hard labor for a day once in a while and yard work. Maybe on Monday before band practice. He's my drummer, by the way. Maybe we can do a little bit together on Monday if you're available to just try to like get things a little more manageable. I'm happy that I said that out loud, that I am in a problem situation. And I should have said it earlier. And it's the same with a lot of things. When we get to the point that we're willing to ask for help, it's things are a long ways past where we should have asked for help. Be willing to ask for help when you need it. I'm not good at it, and I'm sure that most of us aren't. Don't want to go off on metaphor or whatever, but weed burning torch would have, like I get a tiger torch and just burn it. Except then I would light the whole neighborhood on fire because we're under a fire ban. So that's not good. Machete would probably do it. But then again, I'd have to get that out, chop it all down, and then it's just laying there and I can't get it out because I don't have good physics, like physique, I guess. So what were you thinking when it was mid-shin? When it was mid-shin, I was thinking like, well, this is kind of nice. I like lush. I like a nice, lush, natural yard. Mid-shin is fine. I've got a nice big fire pit with chairs right mid-shin. Yeah. But then it gets like, all of a sudden it goes from mid-shin to like waist within a couple of weeks. You're like, boom, like it'll grow 1.5 feet in 2 weeks without paying attention. Can't go past 2 weeks here. The lawn Gestapo goes around issuing citations. Are you in an HOA? Because fuck all the HOAs. I will never live in a place that decides what I can or can't do in terms of yard maintenance. You have a ZZ Top yard. Yeah. No HOA. The city does that. Well, yeah. I guess no, our city isn't gonna say like your lawn's too long. They're gonna say you put that hedge too close to the road, or you can't build a fence there, or whatever. But they're never gonna come around and say like you have to knock down that lawn. Hell, they don't even take care of the like people have chickens right over there. Totally not allowed to have chickens. But I'm not gonna I'm not gonna call them in. Like zoning requirements and beautification issues. No. Yours might be close enough in condition they might make an exception. It yeah, it might. It if I ignored it for another year and like next summer it built on top of where it currently is, yeah, we'd have a problem with the city. And then we can look at that dogwood tree beside the house as well and figure out what we're going to do with that. I have a random dogwood tree like popping up beside my house that I want to do something with. Yes, they can have a couple chickens. Can they though? As a as an R1, you can just have chickens. I don't know. I'm not like I said, I don't care, but I'm not sure they can. Again, don't care. I don't like dog with too much bark. Yeah, I've got a it just all of a sudden sprouted out beside my house. And it's like as tall as my house within a year, 2 years. Just came out of the gravel path beside my house that goes from backyard to front yard. And it's as tall as my house. I don't want those roots to dig into my foundation. I have to do something with it. But I think it's protected. So maybe. Again, it's something I have to look into. Turn your yard into a nature reserve? Yeah, maybe. Like this is where all the squirrels and raccoons and everybody comes to. Okay, later, Kapla. Thanks for coming by, my friend. Good to see you again. Anyway, I don't want to have like most of the show talking about my shitty yard. So, oh, anyway, maybe my friend Mikey B will come by on Monday and help me deal with some of the problem. Ask Gord for his gas powered something and we'll start taking it down. And because you're way tougher than me, you can get your rake action going. Last time I was raking things, I took down a bunch of stuff in the backyard and started raking it, and I snapped the rake handle and slammed myself in the face. I think we talked about that on the show one time. It's like I'm raking things, and then the rake handle snapped and got me in the face. Just not good. I'm just not good. It's illegal to take any part of a Pacific dogwood tree in BC because it's the official emblem of BC. Awesome. Monday's short notice, probably not happening this week. Well, obviously, I'm not in a big hurry. I'm just saying, I'm not going to get it dealt with until I can get some help. So whenever I can get some help, I can maybe get a little bit of it tackled. You could glyphosate the backyard, some meadow seed mix, some gravel pathways. Yeah, yeah. That's what we're gonna probably do with the front yard is we're gonna put like gravel path through and like natural seed with just wildflowers and things through the front yard instead of lawn. Because lawn is, let's be honest, lawn is stupid. So natural pathways through natural foliage and stuff, it's great. We can relocate it. It's considered a problem tree. Yeah, but it's probably going to have to happen this year because otherwise the roots are going to be so big that we're not going to be able to get it out and relocate it. Formula for Agent Orange is readily available online and it worked in Vietnam. Oh, that's what we want to do. I want to just spray toxic chemicals all over my yard, right beside where my family lives. Caduck, how are you, my friend? Thanks for showing up. We've only been live for 2 hours and 8 minutes. Don't worry about, you know, we've been having fun. We're talking about my yard problems, we're talking about boat parts, the different sections of a boat and what they're called for some reason. Who knows? As the title of this episode is called, who knows how this show's going to go. We're talking about guitar projects and other things. May or may not be going to get a guitar here in a minute because I have a couple ideas about some songs. I think I might. Do I want to talk about it? Maybe not. No, I don't think I want to talk about my hopes for next year just yet. It's only almost August. But beer. We found out the guitar is code for he's bored of the conversation. Not entirely inaccurate, but not entirely accurate. Like, I always want to be playing guitar. And like, I always want to be being creative and expressing things in some way. So, you're not wrong, but it's not the only factor. Contact any indigenous people in your area. They might use dogwood for medicinal purposes and would take it. Yeah, but it would still be government regulated. Even government, different levels of government and things. But yes. We also have various nonprofit environmental organizations that I may be able to get who have grants and things to have students work for them, and like there are opportunities and things, but Guitar is code for I want to run off Paul Waldrop for the night. Yeah, no, that's another good point. Whenever I want to get rid of Paul, I just say, like, I'm going to go grab a guitar. And then Paul leaves, and then we can make fun of Paul without him knowing. But it doesn't really matter anyway, because we can make fun of Paul while he's here. So, like I said, I apologize to Tim Ellen, who's maybe a really good guitar player. And then the guitar comes out, and he's like, ugh. But why can't we all just be happy for each other when things are pleasurable? Like, become a scout leader and have your Cub Scouts get rid of it for a den meeting. I wish I had time to volunteer for stuff like that. I would love to be involved with scouts and things as a volunteer. I don't even have enough time to take care of myself physically. Brian's here, Vineyard Farmhouse. Thanks for coming in, my friend. We're having all kinds of fun conversations. I'm a mediocre guitar player. I'm rhythm only. I don't know crap about lead. You and me both, my friend. I know lead guitar. I know some strategies, but I don't play lead guitar. I could probably meander my way through a song on lead, but I wouldn't want to because it's not my thing. Careful, Paul already installed the tactical tennis balls on his walker from his Facebook post. It's true. You don't want to get in a fight with Paul because he will swing around his walker and he will kick the shit out of you with the tennis balls on the bottom of that walker. That was nice. That was well done. I wonder if are all those tennis balls on the bottom of his walker? Do those all have little like Telecaster logos on them? Probably not. He wouldn't take the time to do that. He may take the time to turn like hickory tennis ball things and then put a little cork pad on the bottom of them after sharpening his carbide tip turning tools. I'm Guitar George. He knows all the chords. My strictly rhythm. He doesn't make us cry. That's a lyric, and I don't know what it is. Hard day, the other one. Brother-in-law, who has been friends with my wife for years, posted some really bad racist stuff the other day. No. We're not. I don't think that's the place we want to go right now. We're enjoying each other's company, and we don't want to. Let's continue to enjoy each other's company and be light and fun. Okay? Paul, I know where it is that you're at right now with that comment, and I'm right there with you. But let's Sultans of Swing, Dire Straits. Yeah, no, that'd be great. No. I'm actually one of the things that I'm thinking. I have like quite a few songs that I have written on guitar that I think might be better as piano bits. Um, so I think, like I said, not getting too far ahead of things, but I think next year I might like to learn piano because I think some of the things that I want from the songs that I've written would be better on a piano than on a guitar. So moving forward, I think that might be one of the ways that I'm going to continue to develop my writing style in terms of being a musician. Fun fact, Mark Knopfler of Dire Straits played a Schecter Dream Machine Lawsuit era sick guitar. Maybe he played yours. You don't know. Bought a chord chart and put it on the wall at my office during the day at work. I can practice. Atta guy. You need G, C, D, and then you can stop. Once you get your fingers going back and forth smoothly, this hand is just keeping rhythm. Once you get these fingers doing G, C, D smoothly and making those transitions, then you can add A, E minor, E major, and keep that going. And once you get those two, now we can play like 90% of the songs in the world. Once you get all 5 of those, then you bring in F and your D minors and things like that. G, C, D. This hand doing rhythm. This looks really awesome when I do it on YouTube. G, C, D. Getting the transition between those 3 while keeping this hand going and in rhythm. Once that's all in place, you've got most of what you need to know. G, C, D. And then once you're there, you can bring in a few other ones. But you can play, I don't know, maybe 70% of every good song ever written with a GCD formation and a capo. And once you get an A and an E on top of that, you're up at like 90% of all good songs ever written. Where are we at for clock? Oh, beauty. Got lots of time. I could go get a guitar by Paul. Figured I'd sit at my desk for hours each day, just monitoring systems. Yeah, get it. Oh, and especially if you can get these fingers hitting where they need to hit, and then you can get this hand doing your rhythm, and then why not get a little bit of like finger pickiness going and add another dimension to you're going to be a better guitar player than me in like 3 months. My silent acoustic is pretty light, so I can sit with it on my lap all day. Silent acoustic. Is it like a Washburn travel guitar? What's a silent acoustic? Never heard the term silent acoustic because those things seem to be opposite. Silent, like acoustic, the word acoustic involves sound. So a silent acoustic is like an oxymoron type phrase. Yamaha silent acoustic. Okay. Still seems weird to me because the definition of acoustic means sound. But cool. It's like electronic drums where it's like, yeah, sure, it's not making boom boom boom, but it's still going tick 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 tick. Hey, we're talking about music again. You guys force me into making music. Maybe next year, once in a while, I'll be playing piano or keyboard. I think there are some of my songs that I've written that would be better if they were on keys rather than how I've written them on guitar. But I do know that some of the songs that I've written are awesome because sometimes I get them stuck in my head and they don't even exist. Like, you know how like it sucks when you get a song stuck in your head for hours and hours and hours and hours? When that song is yours and you wrote it, it changes the dynamic a little bit. And it doesn't suck as much when you're like, damn, that's the song that I wrote that I want to hear in the way that I hear it in my head. I have voices stuck in my head also, and they don't exist either. That's not the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. I hear songs that I've written. I hear songs that I've written as like earworms that get stuck in your head. And all I need to do is find a way to actually translate what's in here that I've written into the outside world, whether that's by keyboard or guitars, or I hear bass lines, I hear drum lines. It's they're all written. I just don't have the physical talent to actually put them out into the world the way that I hear them. It's like I can compose all of this music in a fantastic way. I just can't physically create it. Which is frustrating, but when it gets stuck in my head the way that I want to hear it, like sometimes there's a cello, sometimes there's a horn section, sometimes, maybe I'll go get a guitar and I'll give you an example. Bye, Paul. I'm not done just yet. But I do think that a few of the songs that I have written are capable of reaching people. If I can just get them to sound like how they sound in my head. You know what I mean? Hold on. All right. So, oh, Paul's gone. Paul's like, oh, I get it. It's fine. Don't even know. I went down to the liquor store last week. What do you got for a broken heart? They said everything here's for a broken heart. Everything here's for a broken heart. So I got one, stumbled home. I was almost home. Instead of going in, well, I sat on the lawn, saw the paper boy, and the paper boy, he said, what can I do for you, sir? What can I do for you, sir? And I said, what's in that paper? paper today. Or anything on what to do for a broken heart. And he said, what's a broken heart, sir? What's a broken heart, sir? And I said, I hope you never find out, son. I hope you never find out, son. There's no use for a broken heart. There's no use for a broken heart. There's no cure for a broken heart. I went to see the doctor just this week. Said, what do you got? Broken heart? He said, there's no cure for a broken heart. There's no cure for a broken heart. Good news is it's not fatal. Good news is it's not fatal. There's no cure for a broken heart. Life's yours to be. There's no cure for a broken heart. It's yours to be. There's a broken heart. I don't remember the words to my own song. There's no cure for a broken heart. That's okay. It lost most of the words for that song went missing, but if I could compose that song with the instruments and the dynamics that I can hear it in my head, that would be a really, really good song. That's about an E. What the shit? If that is your song, pretty cool lyrics. Yeah, no, that's mine. And I have to go to bed. See? All right. Later, my friend. Thanks, as always, for coming. I know you're 114 years old and you need to go to bed. So I appreciate you stopping by for as long as you did, because that's actually impressive for a 114-year-old. I love you, sir. Thank you for all your support. Bailey Woodworks showed up 2.5 hours in, just in time for me to just be falling apart, basically. Like I said, I have a few songs that if I could make them sound how I hear them in my head, I'm just not talented enough to make them sound how I hear them. You know, it's like a director making movies. He needs to hire other people to make all of the things that he envisions, make his vision come to life. And I can hear these songs that I've written coming to life. I'm just not capable of fulfilling that. I just got home from work. Testing equipment needs to invoice on the 31st, and it's not going well. Well, that's like 2 whole days from now. That's future use problem. No, I'm just kidding. I get it. I want to learn piano. I think it would be a lot easier to compose the ideas that I have in my head for things on a keyboard sometimes over a guitar. But beer. I'm also writing another 2 new songs that I hope will turn into things that people want to hear. Maybe they, yeah, I think, or maybe not want to, but need to hear. You know, like there's some songs where you're like, I didn't know I needed to hear that. I hope I can write even one. I would hope that I hope that maybe one day I will write one song and record it and put it out into the world, and someone somewhere needed to hear it exactly then. I think that would that might be all that I need to do. I used to think I used to think that it would my life's goal would be to have a crowd of people sing my own song at me on stage. Like I could stop singing and I could still hear the lyrics coming from the crowd while I played it. I still think that that would be the greatest thing to ever have happen to me. But at this point I would just like to have something I wrote as a piece of music mean something to someone and change something for them in a positive way. And now there's nobody here. Everybody's gone. And I'm by myself in my garage. Sitting here by myself in my garage, talking to my phone. And that's fine. It's fine. We're just all just plugging away on our way through the world. And every day that you wake up, try to make the most of it and be the best you can to the people around you at any given time. And sometimes that's all you can do. Stop worrying about goals and just every day be the best person you can be and make a positive difference for somebody else that day. And we'll all be better off, I think. This is at least 4 of us. Oh, good. Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. It's true. And it's no different than it was in 1984. It was all your worries. Sure would help a lot. I've done this before. Well, isn't it time to get away? It's the point of the night where Mike starts to get sappy about thank you all for being his friends. Having people sing your song may sound like you want glory, but it's really about making a difference. Yeah, I've always just wanted it was never about like fame. It was just about like having, like, when I see bands, when I see concert footage where there's a stadium of people singing their song at them and the lead singer can just stop and the song keeps going, you know that song has impacted those people in a way that matters. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not about $50 per ticket that they're getting in their bank account. It's about the feeling you get from having that impression on people and having it matter to them that you've done this thing. I would hope. Like, for most people. Maybe not Nickelback or that was bad. Nickelback's fine. It's easy target. That was low-hanging fruit. My apologies. I think one of the proudest moments I've ever had was one guy singing my song back to me that I had only played a couple of times in public, but he'd seen it both times and knew it. And I was playing it in a garage and he was there and he was singing it while I was singing it. And I was like, at that time, I was like, that's all I need. Anyway, out for the night before Mike starts singing Nickelback. I'll never start singing Nickelback. Was this? I sent you a link to Australian, the great version of the Beatles song. One of my favorite. One of my favorite Pearl Jam, quote unquote Pearl Jam songs, is actually Eddie Vedder with an Australian fella. Don't remember his name. One of my favorite Pearl Jam songs ever is a live performance he did in Australia with this guy on stage. I'll come to you in the daytime. Raise it from your head. I'll kiss you in 4 places. Run around your head. I'll squeeze the life right out of you. I'll make you laugh, make you cry. You will never forget it. I'll make you call my name as I shout it to the blue summer sky. We make we'll meet again. So let's get started. You will grow your arms around me. Eric, you know who this is. I know you do. Apparently, he's a big deal. I'm about to get demonetized. Bye, Mike. And again, if Paul was still here, I could show him an example of how just another song, GCD, the whole song. And we will never be together. So let's get started. You will throw. It's called "Throw Your Arms Around Me." It's an Australian guy. You look. Somebody look it up for me because it's bothering me now. It's called "Throw Your Arms Around Me" by an Australian fella. And it's one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs. And it's not even a Pearl Jam song. But the concert that they did down there where they brought him out on stage and played that, maybe one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs. Yeah. So set your skin, let's get started. And you will throw your arms around me. You will throw your arms around me. Really good song. Anyway, I'm gonna keep hanging out until nobody's with me. Mark Seymour. There he is. That's him. I've heard that he's like a relatively big deal down in Australia. I don't know. Anyway, really good song. There's like two of you. Just me and Eric, and maybe Tim Mallon. And maybe some other people after the fact. Last week's show, I got a couple hundred people that watched that nonsense, like after the fact. So maybe some people watch this, like not here right now. Based on the analytics from YouTube, like some people actually come and watch this after. So we'll go. I'll try to be happy. Fingernails are a little bit. A little long. I'm gonna grab my Mike's wooden things and stuff, marking knife, and just like trim my fingernails. Probably gash the shit out of my fingers. And now I'm off to the hospital. Nope. My love, and I took it down. Climbed the mountain and I turned around. Saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills. The landslide brought me down. Words are always going to be my downfall, which is weird because words are generally my strong suit. I just can't remember lyrics. I don't know. It's all good. Maybe we'll just shut her down. There's nobody here. You guys aren't nobody. The guys that are still here aren't nobody, but it is hard to keep the enthusiasm up for just a couple of people. So let's shut her down. Maybe or maybe not the last show until my birthday on August 17th. I might take 2 weeks off. I might not. We'll see. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, everybody. Until I see you next, hopefully I will see you again. Bye for now.